Good morning. So we're still in the process of improving the action system. I think we cracked the code yesterday. Today it's time to find out if that's true. Yeah, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. And dependencies are probably going to be the main building block, or the main building block that makes this system work. A lot is going to rely on this. Still not entirely sure if I am happy with these properties for the dependency base class, but I think we can start with this. So we're going to have every dependency is going to have a primary type that it depends on, and then we're going to have a secondary type as well. And the secondary, or the subclasses of dependency like this, is going to be the question is what I want to name them. It's basically going to be the entity that the base dependency refers to. Can it do action X, or can it have action X done to it? Yeah, we're going to see a lot of transformation here. I'm not entirely sure what I want to keep this as, but we will see where we end up. Yo, what's up, Derek? Good morning, good morning. So what I'm getting at is, and PG King, good morning, good morning. What do I want to name these? Dependency is good. That's just a base dependency. We want to have one dependency for doing action X on Y. Okay, something like this. So one dependency for doing action X on Y, and one dependency for Y being able to do action X. So in this lovely graph here, once again, feed relies on pickup and focus. And one is whatever we're focusing, or can what we're focusing consume, and can what we have picked up be consumed. That is pretty much what we want to look for. Feed and consume. Yeah, feed is to some other entity, and consume is to itself. Okay, yeah, but anyway. So this is good. So this one is for this one is for pickup, right? can whatever we're holding be consumed? So doing action consume on what we're holding. And this one is focus. Can whatever we're focusing do action consume? Yo, what's up, Calvino? Good morning, good morning. So these are the two sub-dependencies I want to define and implement today. The question is, or like, what should the name be? I want a good name here, and this is... Naming stuff is hard, but I would prefer like a name. I don't really care about how long it is, as long as it conveys this information in a somewhat clear way. Honestly, one could think of it like... So this is a dependency that implies some form of interactability on Y. And this is a dependency that implies that Y is able to do some action. But I don't want to call it dependency action and dependency interactability. Or dependency interactability... Honestly, this one is probably... Yeah, we're probably going to name this one as interactability dependency. Interactable dependency. Interactability dependency? Maybe. Interactable dependency. And then I wonder if we want to name this one actionable. Is this weird? Interactable dependency and actionable dependency. Maybe it's good for a first version of names, I guess. Interactable dependency, actionable dependency. Action dependency. Dependency check. We're not going to do it as a func. No more. Primary type fulfilled. Okay. Primary type fulfilled, and then we have on change as well. Dependency. And then again, I wonder if I want to name this dependency interactable and dependency actionable. be like this. Do we have... rename this one. What is it? No, it's not super here. We do it like... Is it like this? Yeah, this is the syntax for it, right? Base primary type, great. And then we have secondary type left. Fulfilled. Maybe protected here, honestly. This one we're still gonna have... Yeah, we're just gonna instantiate it here and then let it be. I wonder if we just want to make it read only. Let's keep it like this. Okay. Yeah, maybe we're gonna do it like this. Public. Set dependency link, and here we're gonna have action. Or actually add dependency listener. Yes, and here we have on process change. Hmm. If we start by thinking of this one as a, so we only care about this one, then we want to do private void, check for fulfillment maybe. Yeah, what we do is we add a listener like this. Check. Or not check fulfillment. I actually want to call it update. Do it like this. Oh yeah, and then we need to do action. And for this one, it's pretty simple. Here we just do fulfilled is equal to action dot. We want to check if it's processing. Do we have state here? Yes, we do. Just call it state dot processing. And then we do on change dot invoke this. So it's going to be a lot of signals going back and forth. Update fulfillment is going to be a bit more complicated or intricate in interactable dependency and actionable dependency. Yo, what's up, Discord ID? Update fulfillment. Now we probably want to do it like this actually. Public, private, update fulfillment. We're gonna have. We are gonna have protected virtual bool is fulfilled. And by default, we just return this is fulfilled. Yeah, we want to say in action. Action state processing, yeah. And here we do we also just want to notify this when we have an update. So when we go from fulfilled false to true or fulfilled true to false, not when we go from fulfilled false to false or fulfilled true to true. So And then we do if I don't know if I want to rename this one is fulfilled. Fuck, do we have a better word for this? Satisfied might be. Yo, what's up, Diligence? Good day. Good sir to you as well. Fulfilled. Satisfied, no. Complete. Complete, incomplete. Complete, incomplete. Maybe complete is a better word here. Dependency being complete. Completed dependency. Let's go with fulfilled for now. And I want to rename this one new. New fulfilled. Okay, so we have an action. We add a listener to action on process changed. And here we do update fulfillment, and we do is fulfilled. This one is virtual, so then in this one, for instance, we can do protected override bool is fulfilled. Same. We definitely want to do base is fulfilled. But here we want to return something else. And what we want to return here is... Do we do anything with primary type just yet? We don't. So this is interactable dependency. So basically what we want to do here is... Action should have so like this. Action and interaction should have some property or variable pointing to what we're doing the action on. It's not as straightforward when we're talking simple actions like jump. Okay, what do we do to jump on? Pretty much nothing. It's the entity doing the action that we're doing it on. So should action just point to itself? So that's one question we have. When it comes to action interaction, it's much clearer. Like when we do an interaction, we do the action on some entity, some other entity. An interaction, we need two entities. For an interaction, we need one entity for an action. So I would love to have, it would be way nicer if we just had it here. And we want to call it target or something like that. But if we just keep it in interaction, we're gonna get some problems. When we send action here, or would we? Yeah. So we probably want to move this one to action. Type, state. But also when we move away from mono behavior here, like when and how and where should we set this target for? Or we could actually just do it such that actions doesn't have a target. But I don't know. Diligence, humility makes sense now. Thought you used C#'s action class. Yeah, not here. Yes, it becomes a little bit unclear here, but yeah. But then again, do we want to allow for this one to be null? Ever? Of course, we're going to do it here, but I mean, when we get an action and we want to check if it's fulfilled here. Actually, we're going to instantiate these actions eventually. Target null. Yeah, that should it should probably be okay. Actually, I want to. Yeah, we're gonna be able to set that one as null. Target. So in this one we can do base is fulfilled and this one is an interactable dependency. So what we want to do is so this is the primary action. Yes. So what we do here is we do action dot target. It's not null. I guess we have to check for that one. And action dot target. So this is an entity. Can let's see here, something with action supports action type. Yeah, let's work with the naming of these as well. Entity, get interactable. Supports action type. So this is that we can do this action on this one, right? Although is usable. True. Don't need mono behavior here either, or do we? Maybe it's good. But yeah, entity, I wonder what supports action type get interactable. Let's change these a bit. So here we have supports action type and get interactable. I think interactables. focus, inspect. Okay, so we have these two methods, and then when we have a dynamic entity, we don't have anything interaction. Okay, yeah. So entity static, we can do stuff with static entities, dynamic entities, and then animate entities. So here, now we also talk about actions here. So we can actually do actions here. Can perform action and get action. Can perform action, that's a beautiful name for this method. I want something very similar here. Not supports action type. Can perform action. Can performing something and being but can receive action. Dude, I should have figured that out way earlier. Derek, so capable of action. Capable of action, that's pretty much like this one. So we have entities can perform an action or receive an action. Receive, yeah, I think receive is the better word for it. Perform action, receive action. I think. So if we go to entity, I want to have this here as well. Supports action type get interactability or interactable. And so we're going to change this one to can receive action. Can receive action. We don't have any errors here, right? Yeah, what's up, Kuti? Oh yeah, of course. So, like, I want to add this function or method to entity. So we have can receive action, get interactable. And then I also want to do public virtual bool can perform action. action type, action type. Want to change this one. And here we just return false, like a static entity cannot perform an action. And then we also have public virtual action get action, action type, and just gonna return. I don't know how, what is it, action holds? I don't know how nice this is, but it's very nice for all of the entities to have this method at least. It depends on how much we need to use this one. Kuti, how did you learn how to make games in Unity? I knew how to program before I started game deving, and I just pretty much grinded it out. I did a few official Unity tutorials, I think, and some YouTube tutorials. And then I just decided upon a simple game to make, and I started to make it, pretty much. Can perform action, get action, can receive action, get interactable. It's, yeah. So then we have animate entity. And we want to do override here. And override here. This I don't really care about. I think we can do, instead of having this check again, we just do actions. Try get value, or get value, or default. Right. Can perform action, get action, can receive action, get interactable. I think this is good, because what we want to do then is in action dependency here is target is an entity. If action target, what was this? Interactable dependency. So here we do action dot target dot can receive action secondary type. Something like this. And then of course, if we go to entity again, it's not action type we want to work with here. I think we want to do it like this. And this is where it's going to start looking nice, I think. And we won't mix it up with Unity or C# actions. And that's because we're going to do it like this. Can perform action. Do we care about game action dot type? Maybe we want to do namespace. I don't know. Nah, I think I like this. So can perform action, game action type, action type. Do I want to change this one to just plain type? And here we do get action, so we do game action. Maybe. Why can't we do this? Oh yeah, that is true. And this is what sucks. So here I wonder if we wanna do having this one game.action system, maybe. Or do we want to go with actions? Is that weird? If we do game.actions. Maybe that's better. Game.actions.type. Game.actionsystem.action. Game.actions.action. I don't know. We will do this. Okay. Can perform action, game.actions.type. Type return false always here because a static entity cannot perform an action. Public virtual game actions action get action, and then we have game actions type. We can never return anything here. And then we have can receive action, game.actions.type. Contains key. Oh, that is true. Actually, one more thing. Oh, I like this. Entity. Eventually, we're actually going to have action handler here. Handles a lot of this stuff. For now, we have it in entity doe. Interactables. Interactable. Interactable. Yeah, let's implement that one real quick. Interaction. Let's just keep it We're gonna wait with these two, filling these two up, and we're gonna add interactable. Well, I can't write today at all. Okay, there we have it. Public class interactable. And then again, we're gonna make this abstract class interactable. I don't even know. Interactable action old. What do we have here? We have state. I don't even remember us having state here actually. On interactable, is that so? But I don't even know if we, let's see, interactable, pick up, state. No, I don't even think we use it honestly. But maybe we interactable, yeah, we need something, but having states is a bit too much. I think we're probably just gonna have is being interacted with or not. Interactable, but I think we can wait with that. So game.actions.interactable entity. So let's change this one to be game.actions. But interactable and then interactables. Okay, great. Interactable type. Yeah, we definitely want to have a type. But it's gonna be public abstract type, public abstract type. Yeah. Get components. Game.actions dot interactable. Okay, so that's that error, and then we have this one as well. Can receive action contains key type, and then we have interactables type is usable. Is usable. We just return true here. And how does it look for interactable pickup? Is usable. It's usable. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, it's usable is probably not what we're looking for right now, but what I would want to have instead is something like is being used or occupied, or not occupied, but like I want a flag telling us if this interactable is being interacted with currently. So I don't know if we should just free is free, unused, uninteracted, unused. Or sleep, but that's probably that's usually like physics based. If you have something like that, or if you start using that terminology. I guess for now we can just do, I like to leave to-dos. Change property name. I wonder if we just wanna keep it as public, pool, locked. Get should be private, but set should be protected, I reckon. Locked. Maybe. Or... Ooh. Jesus. I think the word I'm looking for is available. That would be nice. Available, not available. Available. That's a pretty good name, so I think I'm probably gonna remove this one. Available. Okay, so in entity here, when we do can receive action, contains key type and interactable type. I think we want to can receive action, get interactable type dot is or available. Can receive action. I'm not entirely sure. I don't even know if we want to make this. I don't know if we want to make this check here. Move. Have. I don't know. Like, if we have an entity that has a lot of interactability, when we ask for can this entity receive the action, do we really care about if that interactability is available now or not? I reckon like we want to be able to check if it can do it at all. And then when we're actually going to do something of that type of interactability or interaction, that's when we check if it's actually available right now. It just feels a little bit off with this one here. Can receive action, is action available? Maybe that's a better option. We'll see. We have this to do here. Okay, and then I want to go to animate entity. Can perform action. I'm gonna change that one as well. One sec. Okay, back. Sorry about that. Let's see. Possible to clean up and avoid double loops. What do we do here? Actions on game object, get components, action old. Can perform action, actions add. Okay, so we just fetch all of them. Oh, that is true. That's not what we're gonna do anymore. We are gonna have these are not mono behavior anymore, so we can't do it by get components. But what we're gonna do for now is possible actions. Yeah, we're gonna do it like this for now, but eventually we're gonna want to edit this in the Unity editor on a more detailed level than just like selecting what actions an entity can do. So with this solution, we would currently just do add action place, action inspect, action focus. But later on, we want to specify a lot of other stuff when it comes to actions. Just picking something up, for instance, how much can we carry and stuff like that. So we're gonna need some more customizability, but we will get to that. For now, we will just keep it like this. And a lot of the action and interactable related stuff will also be moved to action handler, I think. I don't know if I want to move interactables to that one just yet. We will see. We will see later on. Now when I think about it, okay, let's do it like this. Private game actions, action, possible actions. Skip this, and we can remove this for each. Okay, we'll do it like this. Action type. Yeah, of course. How many errors do we have? Quite a few. I guess it's time to remove these methods. Or I guess we could just do this real quick. Get interactable. For each action. Yeah, this one we're gonna fix as well. And here we have action interaction. Can receive action. Yeah, unplayable entity. Yeah, this one is gonna be making this one work with the new action system. What do we have here? Base.actions.values for each state change event add listener. Yeah. I just need to add this as a to-do here so I don't forget about this one. Preview, example, to-do. Implement. Start with the easy ones first, or the ones that define the system. So I guess I'm talking about type and state, action state. action interaction, action handler, action dependency. This, and I want to do, yeah, we're gonna do this. And then the reason I started to writing this to-do list, just so I have it in paper, don't miss anything, was because of the playable entity. But another very important thing is to re-implement all with new action system. And I don't remember. First of all, we're gonna have reckon we can start with this one. And that would be collect, consume, equip. Probably it. And then we have these. Collect, consume, equip, focus, inspect. Blah, 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 blah. So all the same, except we actually have action, interaction, terraform here as well. Since we don't have a would probably want to. Now this is okay. Yeah, I remember. This one was an action previously, and then we remade it into an action interaction, and right now we don't have interactable terraform. Maybe we'll fix that soon. But other than that, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 9. Okay. Okay, so now I won't forget this one. Okay, that's good. Where were we? Action dependency can receive action. Okay. Does this make sense in its current implementation? So we have a base dependency with a primary type, Boolean fulfilled, and we have a onChange Unity event. So it's when this one changes. Unfulfilled change, maybe. I will see. Constructor, we just set primary type to primary type. Add listener to action. And we have update fulfillment. And here we just check this action we have here, is it fulfilled, or this dependency? Okay, this dependency given this action. If we have any change whatsoever, we just set fulfilled to the new fulfilled state, and then we invoke onChange here. And then we have an interactable dependency, which have a secondary type. Everything works same as this one, except for is fulfilled. We do base is fulfilled, but we also do we check if the action in question, the target, can the target of this one receive this action? Does this make sense? So feed, pickup. I think it makes sense. But this is not, we want a second dependency type as well, and we're going to call that one public class actionable dependency. This one also wants a secondary type. Secondary type, I'm not sure I like that name. We might rename it. So this would be action type, and this would be interaction type. Hell yeah, and then we can just do primary type. Can we just change this one to type? Let's see. But anyway, we're going to go for secondary type here. This constructor is just going to be exactly the same. And here we want to check, yeah, we're going to do action.target is not equal to. Oh, and then what we want to check here is action.target.can perform secondary type. So it's a action dependency that checks if the target can perform an action. And then here we have an interactable dependency that checks if the target can receive an action. And that's dependencies we have. Ready here, we probably wanna do. And we want to take this one. We put it here. If we go from ready to available, yeah, we want to do on ready. On ready change, on process change. Okay, let's see what we can do about dependencies then. Do we just want to keep it like this? Or... No, I think we want to define, yeah, we want to define these in code. I think we eventually landed on the fact that these dependencies are not going to vary between entities. They are going to vary between actions. So every entity that can perform action X, or let's see, the dependencies for action X for entity Y will be the same as for action X for entity Z. Yeah, saying it like that is just overcomplicating it. But like, so previously we had the ability to customize the dependencies per action per entity, which is going to lead to so much setup for pretty much no gain. I can't really see a case where the dependencies for an action changes depending on the entity that holds it or that can perform it. So we don't want to have a list like this. Instead, we are going to have constructions for each of the different actions. I think. Yeah, we want to rename this one dependency. Yo, what's up, E-Dragon? How is the implementation of the state machine going? It's going pretty good, I think. I think we can even start testing it soon again. But I mean, like, during the implementation here or the rework, things are really starting to make sense, I would say. And it's a lot. If we just take a look at the action class compared to how it looked previously, it looks so much cleaner. We're not done just yet, but we're getting to it. So dependencies here, we're gonna create these during... We're gonna create these during construction of actions. and interactions. So I wonder if we want to do pub protected, maybe. Abstract void instantiate dependencies. And then we have a public action. That's not entirely true. Or is it? Maybe. Instantiate dependencies. Do we want to be able to get the dependencies? Maybe we do. Yeah, let's keep it like this. Instantiate dependencies. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we want to have a public void instantiate. And here we're just going to have instantiate dependencies. I'm going to start by setting this to unavailable. I don't think we need to. Yeah, we can have it like this. Let's see if we can implement. I think we have everything in place to actually implement some sort of action. And then we can hopefully test this system soon. We're going to have to implement the action handler as well, but that's okay. And I'm pretty sure we are gonna structure this one like this. Let's see here. Actions. interactions. Derek, I suppose you'll be able to add new interactables pretty quickly after this is done. I sure as hell hope so. I think so. Quicker than we did previously, at least. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. Probably rename like the files here eventually. I wonder if I want to have... Yeah, I just have to settle on the namespace actually. But let's see here. So let's say, I think we're done. I'm gonna commit this real quick. Actually, let's see. See if we have any errors, because I think, yeah, we will probably notice a few things we're gonna have to fix before we can fully implement the different actions here. But I think it's in a okay place. Action state. Handler, we haven't really done any. Do I want to fix this one before we do? Yeah, maybe. Action interaction is just empty action currently. I wonder this time around, I wonder what will differentiate action and interaction. Maybe we can just merge these two eventually. We'll see if we notice something, because if action has a target, which is null most of the time, we'll see what happens. Maybe we can merge those two. That would be nice. Okay, let's just commit this real quick. Oh, one sec. Um, yeah, I think we're done soon. And the issue this is related to is 168. Okay, great. Let's see. So I would say the first version of these are done. As for this task, we have basically just made it so we don't get any errors there. Now I want to try and do this. So we can start with, I think the key to the whole, or like the entry point, the biggest entry point to the actions has always been interaction focus. If we take a look at all of the other interaction collect, the entry point to collect is pick up, the entry point to consume is pick up, the entry point to equip is pick up right now. Focus. Yeah, focus doesn't have Yeah, the entry point to focus is the entity brain or the actual player. And then we have focus being the entry point to inspect, pick up. The entry point to place, however, is... I guess it could be focus and pickup. Yeah, that's something we're going to notice soon as well. Like when it comes to dependencies, let's say that we have an action that has dependency A and B. So we have an action that has two dependencies, A and B. We want to make it possible so that these dependencies are forgetting the word, but like, so for the action to be available, we want A to be true and B to be true. But we will also want to be able to have it so that one action can have dependencies A and B. And for the action to be available, we want A to be true or B to be true. So like we want to be able to have simple logical expressions with these dependencies. And then we might want to add some weight to it as well. So if we have an action, let's do place, for instance. We want to be able to place something we're holding. In that case, pickup is the entry point to place. But we also want to be able to run up to something that is placed in the world and place it instantly without having to pick it up first. And in that case, focus is the entry point. But if we have a case where we want to place, let's say that we're holding something, but we're also focusing something else, the action of doing a place, like which one of these two should it be? Which should be the object we're placing? Of course, for place, I think it should be whatever we're holding. So in that case, this one should have a greater weight than focus. So when we utilize these dependencies, we might want to add a value here as well, a weight value or something like that. But we will see. Let's try and implement... one sec, I just want to see interaction focus. This one really doesn't do anything. Okay. Okay, let's implement action focus and let's see what happens. I wonder if we want to do, yeah, maybe namespace game dot actions dot interactions. And then we just name this one focus. And we want to make it a subclass of, what is it, interaction. But I guess we're gonna have to do it like game.actions.interaction. Okay, beautiful. But we don't. Okay, nice. Okay, pretty. I like this. Let's do quick fix. Let's see what we have. Go through them. And we start with public override type. And here we just return type dot focus, right? Dependencies. Actually, I think we want to do it like this. Action dependencies. Can we do it like this? No. Oh, what the fuck? We can do it like this, right? Okay, beautiful. And then we do instantiate dependencies. And here we do dependencies is equal to, it's an array. So focus doesn't really have any dependencies, I don't think. Oops. So we're pretty much going to set this one to ready at all times. But at the beginning, the state is going to be set to unavailable. Instantiate, I wonder if we want to do it. Instantiate dependencies. And at the end here, we do set state, state.available. The only thing that annoys me here is if we state is equal to new state, like for this special case, this focus that doesn't have any dependencies, we need to set it to ready in some way. I just don't know how yet. We'll see. Finish initialize. One sec. Initialize process finish. Why do we have it like this? This one I want here. And this one we want here, I think. And then we could take interaction, focus. Okay, so this one is the old one. Point, we have the focus point as well. That is true. But it's okay. Type allows self-interaction. Self interaction. So we're going to wait with that one a tiny bit. So what we have here, we have public void focus. Public void focus, start processing, stop processing. Oh, yeah. Host entity is playable. Because we want to highlight game object. I don't know. I don't know about this one. I want to move this away from... So playable entity should fetch this stuff instead of, for each of these actions, having special cases where we have a playable entity or not. So we are self-interactions and playable host entity. Two very important things. One sec, be right back. 1 min max. Okay, back. Sorry about that. So playable host entity. Yeah, we're gonna mark it as a edge case for now. Because if we check on action, interaction, focus, such a special case. Yeah, in this case we wanted to force it. We'll see. It's ready to process, start processing. Is force focusing. Yeah, force focusing. That's also a special edge case we're gonna look into at the end. When we put it like this, pretty much the full interaction action focus is an edge case. We're going to do game.actions.interactions.focus. Okay, so let's leave this one as is and let's worry about pick up. Or I want to do... No. Inspect, actually. Inspect is probably the easiest one. So action, interaction, inspect. Yes, and now we want to put it as action. Or just interaction, right? PG King, sorry I was in a meeting. Hope it was a productive meeting and welcome back. It's going pretty good. We're putting the action system foundation to the test now by implementing some interactions. I started with implementing focus first, but it's such a special case, so we couldn't really implement anything just yet. Okay, inspect interaction, type inspect. And then I wonder why when we implement these, we always get them in the wrong order, which is a bit annoying. Quite a productive meeting, yes. Oh, nice to hear. A bit long though. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Okay, inspect. Let's see. We have visual information. We definitely need this one again. So visual information is just a game object that shows that we can fill up with text, right? And we have type, allow self-interaction. This one we don't do anything with just yet. At the beginning here, we do visual information, create with default visual, so some type of instantiation. So we need one. We need, like, we have instantiate here, and then we have instantiate dependencies. I wonder if we can do instantiate. I want to avoid instantiate specifics. Maybe we can go with that one for now. Instantiate specifics. Yo, what's up, Jitspo? Hope you had a wonderful stream and a great summer, and thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's a nice number, 64. It is. And welcome to all the new viewers. We're currently implementing, what do I want to say? We're improving on an action system we have in this game. Part of the game is going to be a simulation, so we're going to have a lot of entities and we want to simulate their lives and everything they're doing. So we're in the process of implementing this state machine, pretty much. That will control what actions an entity can do and what action an entity is doing, pretty much. Instantiate specifics. What I'm a little bit worried about here then would be if we have an interaction or something like that that doesn't have anything to instantiate in this case, but I guess we will find out eventually. It's when my stream was long. Yeah, I was about to say you must have been going for like 8-10 hours or something like that. Just wanted to get a new Steam build together and Murphy's Law was in full effect. Okay. So a new Steam build for Cook, or Or some other game? Oh, nice, nice. A private build for an event I submitted to. Okay, good luck with that event. Interesting. Okay, so in this case, with this new system instead of the old one, we're no longer working with game objects here. Or rather, this action is not a mono behavior anymore, so we don't have access to the game object by default. So the question is, do we want to inject it or something like that? Or in this case, we just use game object for the name. String name and text. Create with default visuals. So my question now, with this new system, would we need a reference to the... Yeah, that's right. If we want to implement something similar to the edge case of self interactions and a playable host entity, playable host entity here refers to the entity that has this action or can perform this action. Then we need to have a reference to this. But if we have a reference to this entity, we're going to get a circle dependency kind of thing going on. So the entity has a reference to the action and the action has a reference to the entity. And I mean, it's okay. We can make one of them weak, but if we could do it without introducing that circular dependency, that would be nice. And this visual information here. Now when I think about it, this visual information that's only for the playable entity. So if we do action interaction inspect here, the old implementation, visual information show hide, like we don't want to, if we have a creature that moves forward to another creature and inspects it, we probably want to play some animation or something like that, but we don't want to show any visual information, right? So visual information in this case is tied to playable entities. We're going to wait with that one. which means that we don't really have do anything here either right now. But what we can do, we're gonna jump and implement pickup soon, where we actually do something specific. Because in this case, what do we do? Yeah, we change the text. So process we can probably change. Okay, so initialize. So we can add it here as well, and here as well. Okay, initialize. So this is when the process is initializing. Like we instantiate, initialize. Yeah. Dependencies and process we can change right now. My biggest pet peeve, however, is that inspect, where, yeah, we just update the text here currently. Okay, let's wait with that one as well. Because the idea is that action handler is going to go loop through all of the processing actions and execute them or increment or call process basically. But for now, let's instantiate dependencies then. Okay, so inspect has, we can see how many dependencies it had originally. Character, inspect. I think this is gonna look real nice. So in animate entity, we're gonna listen on process here. So instead of letting the actions handle if it's a playable class or not, we're gonna let playable entity handle it. But anyway, action interaction inspect, it depends on focus. In state processing, it's a provider and interrupts processing. So dependencies here, we only have one dependency, so we can start by doing dependencies equal to new dependency 1, and then we do dependencies 0 is equal to new. It's just a default dependency, right? Primary type type dot focus, and that's about it, I reckon. So now we need to do one more thing. Yeah, we need to listen on something, right? So the dependency we have on change. So whenever fulfilled is changed. I wonder, so one way to do this would be to implement in action here. We do public void check dependencies, much like we do, which we originally did. So if we would do this the bad way, the way I want to avoid it, then it would be check dependencies, and here we do if let's just take the old action, and we have is fulfill dependencies. So like this. So when we instantiate the dependency here, we do dependencies 0 dot on change add listener check dependencies. So in this case, we don't send in, we don't need to send in the dependency in question, but we can do it like this for now. What am I? Unit event action invoke this. Oh, do we just do, now we do add listener. What am I missing? Didn't we just do this label entity add listener action? Focus. What am I missing here? PG King, I'm a bit late to the party, but you're implementing the actions of the animals you attract. Yeah, pretty much. But it's also going to be the playable entity. So the character you're playing is going to rely on this action system. but it's mostly going to be the creatures. I've been meaning to write. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I find time to do it later today. But like, I want to write a short description here for the action system we're implementing to make it clearer for the viewers, and I also want to have it in the like YouTube video descriptions and stuff like that. But let's see, why can't I do it like this? To Unity Engine events, Unity action, game actions, dependency, convert from method group. What am I missing? Check dependencies. Yo, what's up, Vladislav? Shouldn't we be able to do it like this? It's not... okay. Okay. Okay, beautiful. So now we have this in place. So this is the old way of implementing this. We could go this route. So we define some dependencies, and whenever they change the dependencies, when they go from fulfilled to not fulfilled or from not fulfilled to fulfilled, we notify the action that is listening to the dependency. And we get to this method right here, and then we just go through all of the dependencies. If all of them are fulfilled, we change the state to ready. But what I'm wondering is if we can change this, make it a little bit nicer. So like we store some information or something. Or like we have some memory of the states. How should I put this? Yeah, it could be like this. So check dependencies. Instead, we have public. I think I went with this, or I talked about this counter solution previously as well. So we do dependency count, and here with dependencies, dependency count is equal to 1 in this case. And then we do dependency count here. And then check dependencies. We do listen on this one, but instead we do dependency count plus equals to dependency dot fulfilled. If it's fulfilled, we do -1, otherwise we do 1. So we add or subtract from this dependency count at all times. And then in the end, we do dependency count. If it's equal to 0, we do set state dot processing. No, not processing, but ready. The good thing here is, but this probably feels... No, I think I prefer this one actually. The only thing we're doing here is we're checking booleans pretty much. So we don't do additional calculations. We just check the booleans. It should be okay. I'm probably overthinking stuff now. So when we have a change in a dependency, we check all of them to, if all of them are true, then we're still in ready. Check dependencies. If we do it like this, we don't need to send anything here either. That might be... Check dependencies. Check dependency. So I'm wondering if we just want to do it like this. Can we do it like this? But then again, maybe I was a little bit too quick here. I want to keep this one here. Because we might want to send... Like, we might work with some information we have in dependency later on. So we're going to keep that one for now. In this case, I wonder if we want to do dependencies, new dependency. And then we just might want to do, so if we don't have any dependencies, we just do set state. We'll worry about that one soon. The idea is that, what was this? Focus. So if we take the playable character, for instance, focus, we don't have any, for focus, we don't have any dependencies. So it's just going to be ready at all times. Initializing. Yeah, that's true. When we go from interrupting to available, or when we get to available, we might want to check oh, fuck yeah, this is how we're gonna do it. So anytime we get, when we get from unavailable to available, finishing to available, interrupting to available, what we do here is state, new state, return true. I wonder if we want to do, I wonder if we want to do return set state. No. One sec, be right back real quick. Okay, back. Sorry about that. Okay, so what I would like to do, check dependencies. Like, I wonder if I want to do, whenever we get to ready, we might want to check dependencies again. Right? That's what I'm feeling, at least. check dependencies. But then we want to send some dependency. We don't use this one just yet, so for now we might do this. Not the biggest fan of that, but yeah. Action interaction focus, no dependencies. Action interaction inspect, we have one dependency and that's just focus. We might, I'm wondering if I want to keep, if I want to put these, if I want to have these dependencies as, I want to put them in a list and then we want to sort them based on priority or weight. Target here, public entity target, protected set. Okay, we're gonna leave inspect like this as well. So we got an introduction of how we set up a new dependency here. That's about it, but that's a good start. And then I want to jump to, I don't know how much more time I have today, but we could do pickup, I think, is... Yeah, this one is going to be quite cool to set up, I think. I worry about these, however, as well. Like, we need to set these. So action, interaction, pickup. We need to know how strong we are, where our anchor points are, and then we want to affect the animator as well. So pickup might be the interaction I would have wanted to start with. So now when we're not working with mono behavior anymore, we can't do game object get component. We could send in an entity and get this stuff, but I don't know about that. Maybe the best way to do it is, so new action, we have entity target, and we have public entity, or I guess that would be animate entity. And we want to do this weak, right? Weak reference, I don't know. Public animate entity. Host. That makes sense. The reason I want to have this here is because we want to fetch information. So pick up, for instance, we want to fetch we want to get anchor points, and they might change. We want to fetch strength. We don't use it right now, but like if a creature or the player tries to pick up something that is that weighs more than the entity that tries to pick it up can manage to lift, then we want to fail it. And like attribute handler, this one is extremely dynamic. So a entity, the strength of an entity varies depending on multiple different parameters. How hungry it is, how good it has slept, what level it is. I don't know if level is what we're going to use, but like, and this, like if we have an attribute that varies depending on how hungry the entity is, it's going to dynamically change throughout time, right? Which means that we need a fresh reference to this at all times. Otherwise, one could think that when we instantiate the action for an entity, we just grab the strength value and keep that one. So we just have a reference to the value of strength. But since it changes a lot, we need to fetch it from attribute handler any time we want to use it. So we're probably gonna need to have a reference to the entity in question. And if we have a reference to the entity in question, then we have this circular dependency, right? Which I mentioned previously, because or maybe not actually. It's a circular dependency by proxy, because we're gonna have entity that has action handler. Action handler has references to actions, and actions has references to entity. I don't know if that's much better, actually, but if we can start with it. Note having a reference to host here results in circular. But there's pretty much no way around having a reference to the host like this. And the reason I'm having animate entity here instead of just entity is because entities are static, they can't do any actions. Dynamic entities are static, they can't do any actions, but they can move around in the world. Animate entity is the first entity, or yeah, the first entity level where we can actually do actions as well. Yo, what's up, the Metal Wolf? Damn, I've been getting game developers in my feed a lot recently. Is that something positive or negative? Is YouTube doing its job, or has it fucked up? But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to run now. But I think today's progress was very nice. I'm happy with the progress. We're going to continue it tomorrow. The Metal Wolf, how did you learn using events? I know how those work, but I still haven't implemented them even once. Implement them. Try and implement them, and you will learn how to use them. PG King, yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think it was although I actually have no clue. I guess then you will have to trust me, but I think it was a very productive stream. We're gonna continue this tomorrow, and like, if we take a look at this task, the action task, I set the end date as September 5th. Oh, so this Friday. I think we can actually manage to do this. Tomorrow we will actually test it in game, this action system. Yeah, I have energy to go on, to have a longer stream, but unfortunately I have some other stuff I need to do. PG King, so glad the streams are back. Yeah, I think so. I'm glad to be back. Let's put it like that. And Derek, great stream, bro. Thank you, appreciate it. Testing in game, is this where everything breaks? Hopefully not. We're gonna find out tomorrow. But yeah, now I really need to run. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Peace. Peace, peace, peace.